Mental Health Monday. It's really blurry behind me. I figured out how to do that-ish. It means turning off the autofocus. I've got 2 topics today, and you get 2 for the price of 1.
Proper bargain.
This morning I got up real late. Why did I get up real late? I'm an idiot. I'm a fool. I have no real excuse for that. I got up late. What are the consequences of getting up late? Usually I'm up at like 6. Got up today at, I'm ashamed to tell you this, 5 to 12. Basically, I halved my day. I knocked 6 really good hours. Wait, 6 really good hours? While cleaning out, I found this like big mind map that my dad had made, trying to make a point to teenage Eamon, who was a piece of shit. Consequences you are unaware of for every action you take. By sleeping in today, I'm gonna have a hard time going to sleep this evening, resulting in waking up late again tomorrow, and this vicious cycle of generally not sleeping good. It's really quite frustrating that you can invest so much time into improving yourself, looking after yourself better, and it only takes like one fuck up, and that fuck up can cascade across a couple of days, and you're suddenly back to your old teenage self. Be mindful of the cock-up cascade. Unintended consequences for a lot of the things that we do in our lives. Good sleep and good diet are really important, which brings me to my next point. Beautiful segue. I've been reading this, The Inflamed Mind by Edward Bullmore. At some point, I may give you a summary of it when I finish reading it. Our boy here, he spends a long time arguing that we don't really understand the mechanisms for depression adequately. The current pharmacological approach to it is looking at serotonin when we have no good biomarkers, meaning there's not actually a strong body of evidence to suggest that it has anything to do with the serotonin system, but they just have a medication that they throw at it, which is sometimes effective, but isn't for others. And he says there's actually a new incoming information suggesting that inflammatory disorders like rheumatoid arthritis or fatty liver infiltration or a swath of other things can cause depression-like symptoms. He goes through the biochemistry of it in that when your body is inflamed and your body is basically fighting off an infection or fighting off itself, those inflammatory chemicals in your body that your body produces can actually get to your brain and can cause depression-like symptoms. I went and looked at that. I've read elsewhere and watched videos elsewhere of the same postulate or the same theory being raised. What causes high inflammation? Excess sugar results in an inflamed liver. 3 weeks ago, I cut out refined sugar and really big one, vegetable oils or plant oils. My God, did I feel so much better, like provably better. Okay, cool. How can I take it the next step? And so I decided, you know what? Let's do the most elimination diet humanly possible. On Sunday last week, I stopped eating. I'm going to take a week off of food. Man, I'm not hyperbolizing this. Did I feel great? Yes. Did I feel a bit hungry here and there? Yes, but my goodness, as far as like my mental state goes, I was thinking sharply, I was not brain foggy, and my overall attitude towards life, despite us going into lockdown, was pretty chipper. Yeah, there's something in our food, and it's probably different for each person. There's stuff in our food that's probably making us feel worse. Assuming that the mind and the body are separate is a little arrogant or naive. I've found my ability to keep the self-talk in check. I haven't really had to think about it much while fasting and while my diet's clean. So have a look at your diet. Maybe there's something there. I'm definitely finding that. The lack of exercise, on that exercise thing, exercise fixing your depression isn't just about endorphins. It's about the fact that those inflammatory cytokines, as they're called, it allows them to get drained by the lymphatic system and get dealt with. It actually lets them move around as opposed to sitting there in one place causing issues. I look forward to giving you an actual summary of this book. It's no surprise that we have like a real vicious cycle of I feel bad, so I resort to sugar, and because I resort to sugar, it makes me feel more bad because it causes more inflammation in my body, etc. Individual results may vary, blah, blah, blah. This isn't medical advice, etc., etc. Scrotum fresh. This brings me to my last point, 3 Mental Health Mondays in 1.
Nice.
I'd been feeling the need to go on a fast for a while. I've done it before. I think my longest is like 8 or 9 days. It sucks while I'm doing them, but I usually feel really good afterwards. And I plan on doing it, and then something happens and I don't do it. Mad Arab, in the first few years, I was heavily into Alan Watts. I have mixed feelings about now as I've sort of grown up a bit. And I don't understate how many batches of beard oil were made while Alan Watts was playing in the background. You know what? That reminds me. I'll be right back. I had a quick oiling. I've been real slack on oiling my own beard weird lately because it's like I'm not going out. Axeman, but like the old batch of Axeman when we had Daphne. I can't get Daphne anymore, but the Daphne made it just smell so bloody good. So Alan Watts had this thing. It's like if you want to start a diet or make some positive change about your life, the worst thing you can do is announce it to the world or announce it to yourself. You just got to start, because if you announce it, it's like that guy who owes a lot of money. He has a lot of debtors where he lives, announcing to the city that he's gonna skip town. You kind of want to start something like that, whether it's like a workout program or fast or anything, by just starting. Don't think about it, because if you think about it, you're announcing to the other parts of your psyche that you might not have a grip on to get in your way. So it's better to just, what did he call it? The way of the Slyman. I'll have a look on YouTube and try and find a link and I'll put it. This is an interesting perspective, and I've definitely found that when I undertake something that is uncomfortable, like cold showers, I will stand there under the shower head and I'll be thinking, oh, it's gonna be cold, it's gonna be awful, blah, blah, blah. I used to have a hard time pulling the trigger. And every time I would pull the trigger is when my brain would start thinking about something. My arm would just surprise my brain and go, surprise, motherfucker! It's very hard to get your intellect to do something. Your intellect is actually probably the thing that gets in the way the most. You gotta do it sneaky, because your brain is gonna give you 101 reasons and 101 rationalizations of why you should or shouldn't do something. But when you know in your heart that you're meant to do it, just do it and don't give your brain a chance to get in the way. Yeah, the way of the Slyman. If you have examples of this, I'd like to hear it, because that one really stuck with me. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm weird. We already know I'm weird. See you next week on the subject of the fast and the Slyman. Literally, it's saying to myself, oh, I'm going to have a fast, or oh, I'm going to do a fast, etc. never seems to do much for me. My greatest success with it has just been, like on Sunday, I was like, yeah, it's a nice idea, but I don't know, I'll see how I'm feeling tomorrow. Then we went into lockdown, and I was just like, well, I'm locked down. And then Monday, sort of my lunchtime hit, and I went, you know, I'm not that hungry. Fuck it, I'm gonna start fasting. And that got me till Saturday. If you think that I'm crazy and I'm damaging myself and blah, 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 send me a DM. I'll send you some good references, and they're not hard to read. I'll just send you some YouTube videos, a couple of doctors here and there. What have I got? A nephrologist, a cardiologist, nutritionist. It is a really fantastic rabbit hole in medicine. If you want to give it a go and you want some advice and some like first-hand tips, if you have more questions and want me to do a detailed video on that, it interests me. I do find it really fascinating. Oh my god, Amy, you're crazy. You're stabbing yourself.